Last week my phone did a big update. What I noticed after was a new icon on several apps which was simply labelled AI. Of course we've all heard of AI, but have you ever really thought about what it is and how it affects us all? So AI is better at words, can find answers quicker, rarely makes mistakes. On the surface it checks all the boxes and makes the person using it appear to be much smarter, much better and much wiser than they actually are. But what AI isn't is real. By definition, it's artificial. It's imitating the original by substituting, by replacing it with something else that looks or acts or claims to be better. What it doesn't have is a soul. It's never received grace and it never extends grace. It's not capable of love because love comes from God and no one and nothing can replace what God alone can do. So there is no such thing as artificial spirituality. AI can improve relationships, but not intimacy. AI can map out a life plan, but it can't give purpose or meaning or significance. AI can give you a financial plan, but it can't change your heart from greedy to generous. And in this have it now society, where it can all look like everyone else is ahead of us, you don't want to be left behind. So most of us are settling for the artificial, because real seems like a lot of work over a long time. So let's start with a big question. Are you experiencing a real life or an artificial one? You see, here's the thing, here's today's short thought. Eventually, artificial stops working. Not immediately, not overnight, and that's what makes it so dangerous. You see, it works just long enough to convince you that it's real, but eventually you hit a moment where what used to satisfy you, where what used to help you along in life, suddenly doesn't work anymore. That moment has a name, and it's called the wall. You've probably heard the term hitting the wall. In the book Critical Journey, the writer Janet Hagberg explains the wall like this. The wall is a deeply holy place on the faith journey. It is always individual, mysterious, God-shaped and infused with the Spirit, inviting us to transformation. The wall is the most difficult part of the faith journey, and it may ask more of us than we think we are capable of. The wall is not failure. The wall is not God has abandoned you. The wall is not you're falling apart. The wall is simply where the artificial stops working. It's nothing new. When I was growing up, you see, we ate a lot of things that weren't real. And it wasn't that we didn't know, it was just that we didn't care. We had this cheese product that legally couldn't be called cheese. It was individually wrapped, it was perfectly square, it didn't melt quite right and it didn't taste quite right, but we ate it all the time in our burgers because that was normal. My kids used to call it plastic cheese. Then we had, and this one's really obvious, it was a margarine and it was called, I can't believe it's not, you know the one, butter. That was their whole pitch. This is not real, but it's close enough. And nobody said, stop eating that stuff. No one pulled us aside and said, why don't you just buy butter? You see, it was close enough and it tasted okay. And we ate it because it was easy. It spread out the fridge without having to wait for it to warm up. And we're all doing that today because we're all looking for the easy button. We want life with less friction, outcome without process, results without resistance. We want the outcome without the formation. And if we're honest, we don't really want help. We just want a shortcut. So I thought I'd put AI to the test, and I typed into ChatGPT what's expected in my relationships with others, with those I'm close to. And here's a summary of the sorts of things it said. Keep them happy. Protect them from anything hard. Give them something you didn't have, and make their life easier than yours. It also suggested that we laughed at their bad jokes. Remember, this is just spitting out what we've already put in. At the end of the day, it's just a computer regurgitating lots of information that we've already told it. This isn't coming from the depths of hell. It's a consensus of what we already think, and it's not real. So I found myself asking, what's missing? If our goal is simply a shortcut, if our goal is simply to settle for an almost real fake version of everything, then maybe that's enough. But my goal's a little different. You see, I like easy, but I also understand that growth usually comes through difficulty. When problems show up in my life, my prayers tend to sound like this: God, take this away, fix it. Spare me, and especially the people I love, from this pain. But I've started to wonder whether I've been shaped by a kind of artificial reality that tells me, and here's the AI summary again, stay comfortable, avoid anything hard, give others what I didn't have, and make their life easier than yours. And maybe, though I hate to admit it, because it means life can genuinely be hard, God is more concerned with forming me than comforting me. Maybe the goal isn't to escape struggle, but to be strengthened enough to live in a broken world, instead of retreating into a false one of simply safety and comfort. Because the truth is, sometimes it is really hard. There are moments when it feels like we won't make it through. I think everyone has experienced that at some point in their life. But every person I've met with a kind of character that I admire can point to a time when they hit rock bottom and they hit the wall. And when they look back, they see that it didn't destroy them. It shaped them. It built something real in them, something that no AI could ever replicate.